Welcome back, guys. Today I'll be teaching you guys about onboarding screens. When we talk about onboarding screens, what do we mean by onboarding screens? Well, onboarding screens are just those screens that comes before your registration screens or flow. What is the essence of onboarding screen? Onboarding screen gives us the information we need, as the name implies, onboarding. Like when you're being onboarded into an application or a digital product. Okay, so onboarding screens tells you the features of that application, tells you the things you enjoy as a subscriber of that particular application or product. So onboarding screens are just like information screens. They just tell us about the features that are being available on that particular application or product. And when we talk about onboarding screens, there are some key informations you must always look out for in your onboarding screen. The first one is a pictorial representation of that feature you are talking about. If you want to talk about a certain feature of a product, don't forget you need a pictorial representation of that particular feature. The second thing that you must have on your onboarding screen is your text section, and the text section should have, sometimes we have some text sections which have just one bold text, but sometimes or most times we have two, which is the header text and the subtext. The header text gives us the main name or the main header of that feature, while the subtext or body text tells us more about that particular feature. That is your text section. We have the pictorial section or the picture section, we have the text section, and the last but not the least is where we have the CTA section. We need the CTA to move this user from that onboarding screen to either the next one or the onboarding or the registration screens. So you need your picture part, you need your text part, and you need your CTA part. And don't forget, of course, you need your what is it called? You need your carousel to tell us how many onboarding screens we have. Some applications have more than 3 onboarding screens, but the most popular one is 3 onboarding screens. Okay, and it's always good to have the carousel so the user can know how many onboarding screens we have, so that they can determine if they want to skip the whole onboarding or still go ahead to see the next one. And when we talk about onboarding screens, we have different types of onboarding screens. We have the picture based, we have the illustration based. I'm going to be designing few for you in this section just to teach you how to design your perfect onboarding screens. The first thing I'm going to be designing today is the onboarding screen with the picture, but we are going to design 2 types. We have the one that the picture fills the whole screen, and we have the one where the picture is just inside a card. So when the picture is filling up the whole screen, I'll be designing for educational mobile application. So I got this picture from Pinterest. I'm going to take my picture, I'll drop it in my frame, I'll stick it to the top, I'll stick it to the center of my screen, I'll drag it to the top so I can have enough space underneath for my text and my CTA. The next thing I'm going to do here is I'll click on my frame, I'll change the color of my frame, use your color picker here to pick the darkest part, which is the most bottom part of that picture. So it just looks as if the picture is the picture continues to the bottom. Yes, just like this, so the page can rhyme with that picture. Then rather than having this picture confusing me whenever I hover on top of it, I can just lock the picture like this. Yes, so I'm done with my picture part. The next thing I want to do now is to have my text part. I'm going to tap T for text on my keyboard, I'll click outside, and I'm going to input my text, my header text. So this is going to be my header text here. I'll drop it inside my frame, I'll drop the size to 24. Then I want to use a text that speaks well for that kind of thing. I think I like this text here. I have my padding to the left as 24 also, and I'll just drag it back, align it to the left. Yes, and I can make it bigger like this. Yeah, I love it like this. And I need my subtext also. I'm going to duplicate this text and I'll convert that to my subtext. My subtext is going to be smaller, of course, and it's going to be just a normal text. I'm going to use Satoshi for that. And I'll bring it under my main header text here. Yes. So you can either have it left aligned or you have it center aligned. The choice is yours. I'm going to put this two text in an auto layout and I'm give it enough spacing like 10 or 8. I'll bring it closer to the top a bit. I think I may want to make my screen a little bit darker. Oh. Okay. Then I need my carousel. So my carousel, I'll tap R for rectangle. I'll drag a rectangle like this. Give it 100% corner radius. I'll reduce the width to 24. I'll just duplicate holding my shift and my alt key and duplicate again. I'll reduce the height to 6 and put 3 of them in a single auto layout, shift A. I'll bring that to the bottom of my text here. So let's say this is the first onboarding screen. That should have our primary color. Yes, just like that. And the other two, I'm going to reduce the opacity to 50. And I need my CTA. So I'm just going to have, and some CTAs are very, very important. Like you must always have your skip button. Don't forget your skip button because it's very important. Don't make your users stuck on that particular page. So I'm going to make this one 16 medium and I'll give it this primary color I'm using. And I'll just put it at the top side of my screen. Yes, so the user can actually skip the onboarding process. And the next thing I want to do is I need my real CTA. So I'm going to bring this skip, I'll bring it down again. I'll change it to white, but before that I'm going to put it in an auto layout, shift A. The width is 312 by 48. In the middle of my screen, I'll copy the color function and change the text to white, and I'll give the color to the background of my button with 100% corner radius, and that will say get started. I can change that to bold. So guys, I have my beautiful onboarding here using the picture background. Then the next one I said I was going to design is the one that we have the picture in a casing. Okay, so I'm going to unlock my picture here. I'll unlock my picture here. I'll bring it outside totally. I'll bring my picture outside totally. Then I'm going to drag a frame. I'll tap F on my keyboard for a frame. The frame will still be 312. Put it in the middle of my page, just like this. Then I'll bring my picture. I'll copy the fill of my picture, Ctrl C, give it to this frame, Ctrl V. I'll increase the contrast and probably the saturation of that picture. I want it more saturated. I'll change it to crop, drag it up a bit. I want more of the book. Yes, and that frame I'm going to give a corner radius like 16 is not bad. I need the battery pin. I'm going to drop the battery pin here for this and just change it to white. Yep. So this, I can use the center alignment here, change everything to center alignment, step it to the center of your screen and drag it up a bit. I have my carousel right underneath it, or you can even have it just right at the bottom of the picture, in between the text and your picture, like this. Then we can have two buttons for this one. You can say get started and read it. So we dissolve this and change it to already have an account, login. So my login is my CTA. I will change it to my primary color. Everything before that becomes a regular text and probably with lesser opacity, and that will be also at the bottom, at the center of my screen. So this is another one here, guys. And if I like, I might still give this one a subtle stroke, a subtle gray stroke, very subtle, nothing too serious. Yeah, just to push it out a bit. So this is another one, guys. This is another one, guys. And another one I would like to design is the one with illustration. So I'm going to copy another one. I'll bring my illustration, copy the fill, Ctrl C, drop it here, Ctrl V. Then I'll change my background to white. My text, my bigger text becomes black. The smaller text becomes gray, or even black, but with lesser opacity, let's say 80% opacity. And the white here also becomes gray. Yes. Something like this. And my battery pin comes alive also. So guys, tell me what you think. Let me know if you have learned anything tangible from this video. Please drop a like, drop a comment, also subscribe to my channel. I'll be bringing you guys some more tips in the future. Thank you for watching.